Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's so really alive. That was the claim of the proposition side in the House. But we, the opposition side, believe that they are not alive because they don't have neurological connections. They don't feel neither physically nor psychologically. Therefore, they are not alive. How can you be alive and don't feel? Also, we stated that experimenting is not equal to kill. You made an assumption that every time we experiment on embryos or adult stem cells, it was going to die these person. But well, that is not most of the time. Also, the proposition team came up that we should not experiment neither in old people, neither young people, neither in embryos, because their solution was to change the attitude in the people and to make good presidents in order to cure all diseases. But how can happen if we are not going to develop science? How can you be helping the medicine, creating good presidents? Ladies and gentlemen, that's not the answer. No, thank you. How can Huntington's in an adult be cured? Or genetic diseases can be cured? Making good attitudes, changing their attitude in order to cure. This is not the answer. The answer is to experiment, to keep experimenting in human embryos, because as we stated, there are embryonic stem cells that are wildcard cells that can create a greater benefit. Because through these, some diseases like diabetes can be treated, as we have an example in the 2006.
On that point, sir,
yes.
But diseases such as diabetes are currently treated satisfactorily, and they don't need to kill embryos.
Do you think that they're currently treated satisfactorily when kids have to inject their cells like 3 times a day? Do you think that's satisfactorily for them? We do not believe this. We should improve the medicine by keep the research and the scientific research on human embryos in order to have a better way in treating them, in order to make a good treatment on them. Also, you stated that the science responsibility and the influence it has towards society, but what better influence than that researching in order to help mankind, in order to cure diseases. This is why we believe that they are not alive and they don't feel, and this is why we should experiment on the embryos. And because of embryo stem cells, we can cure diseases and treat Huntington's, even though they are not adults, because there is a possibility, which is very important. What we are presenting is a solution. The proposition team is just claiming that by changing attitude or by not treating on someone, we will cure Huntington's in an adult. But there is a possibility that with the development of science in the long term, we might save his life, which is potential. Yes?
Zebrafish and primates share almost 98% of the human genome. We could experiment with these animals instead of with the embryo.
But as we stated in the second argument, there are some research that just can't be done in embryos, because we have to treat them in humans in order to save humans. Why the zebrafish stated, well, it is not. Of course, it's not going to have the same result, because they don't live in the same conditions as we do. They don't pass through the processes we do. This is why we have to research in human embryos in order to save humans, not on a species in the sea, neither in the forest. This leads me to my sense material. The third argument: using human embryos will speed up medical and scientific breakthroughs. Why human embryos? Well, human embryos are easier to manipulate and to obtain them. Are easier to manipulate because, as we stated, they are a wildcard. As we said, embryonic stem cells can be placed in an adult or in a kid in order to cure this disease. And by not using human embryos, the only answer that is left will be using adult stem cells, which is a process which you have to take. You have to be very selective in order to get to result. By using human embryos stem cells and developing these research, we will have practical answers, which can lead to a bigger benefit. Human embryos are easily to manipulate and are easier to manipulate and obtain in vitro clinics, and as they are undifferentiated, this leads us to a bigger, to a bigger market, more people to stay, because there is more people that can be treated with these stem cells, and there will be a bigger benefit. You also said about Spain, and it's the country which has the better heart transplant, and that is compulsory to donate organs. But there are some organs which cannot be donated by everyone. The bone marrow, for example, you said that adults can donate bone marrow. They can bear the pain, just the kids. And we believe on this side of the house that through science and through this research, we will be able to save them with human embryos by placing them embryonic stem cells which can adapt to their body and help them. Because of this, we will be having more discoveries in a faster way, because as human embryos are easier to obtain, there will be a faster development, which is better. This is why, in order to improve life quality, we need to use embryos. Not to stay and not to stay with your arms closed and don't propose anything, and just say that by changing the attitudes and by changing their way of seeing the actual medicine, we will have results. There is a great possibility that through the development of science, we will solve these diseases that affect us all and that can be treated. Also, through using human embryos in the scientific and medical way, we will be able to save bigger population, save more amounts of people, because the other options are just very selective, which takes more time, and also organ donation takes a lot of time. There are huge amounts of people waiting to have their transplant. This is why human embryos is the solution. We need to support the scientific research in order to have swift action and faster action, in order to save more people, in order to save more population, which is our main priority, and to improve the life quality. Thank you very much.